the World Championship. We finished top 4. We beat teams like Cloud9, so no respect given at all from us or the Pro Street United.
I think we're still stuck on the fact that we all are kind of convinced that last season was really just a fluke for Cloud9, and we're expecting, Gimmick and them to show up again.
And maybe a fluke for United as well, because sure they came in 4th, but their goal differential was -19.
Yeah,
their shot differential -22.
You look at scoring, Ajax and Hoxer were all the way at the bottom. They were almost last. They were in the bottom 3. And Roldiz, he was up there in scoring, but his assists were nowhere because his teammates weren't scoring. He was cleaning up a lot of goals, but can they keep that going? I'm not really sold on United yet, but they've earned my respect. I respect them as a team, but I think this is going to be a combination of, I think Cloud9 is going to play to their potential. Gimmick is not going to have a disaster of a season like he did last season, and that's why I'm going with Cloud9. It's because I think they're going to bounce back.
Yeah. Well, that first one on there, we had this one unanimous. This is our first match of the day, so let's get talking about this one. Pittsburgh Knights versus Flight. We all had Pittsburgh Knights taking the win on this one. Is this just experience? We just don't know yet, or is it you're just confident now that Flight's just not ready to play a team like Pittsburgh Knights?
I mean, Pittsburgh Knights, they made a roster move, but Flight also did. But this is a good spot to play the Pittsburgh Knights at least, because bringing in AJ, there was a lot of chemistry issues on Rogue, and I think that's why it was a good move for Rogue. And AJ, a lot of double commits on defense. One of the things Pittsburgh Knights did not do last season was double commit. They executed so well on both sides of the ball. Number 1 save percentage, number 1 shooting percentage, and a lot of that was because they all knew how they played together. They rotated well, no double commits. AJ, he's a wild card at this point, so I think there is a shot for Flight.
But Rogue really had no offense last season, so I feel like AJ was trying to force himself in positions to try and create opportunities for his team. And now that he has Reddles and Gyro on his side, I feel like he's going to relax a little bit, calm down, and we won't see really a third man from him, but instead everybody kind of playing equal roles, equal aggression, and it'll definitely be a change in play style because they won't be so aggressive because they'll have to kind of delegate
I think if anyone has to go back, it's probably going to be Gyro because we've seen how much Reddles likes to go upfield and how much he likes to play upfield. So it's interesting to think about what the dynamic is going to be for this team, but I just think for me, the reason I picked the Knights is because just looking at the raw talent. Look at the raw talent on that team, I just think they're going to overwhelm Flight, especially with Rapid. This is his first RLCS game. Seabass has been here before in season 4 and 6 with Allegiance, but he hasn't really had that many results. And then also Memory. He's a good player, but I don't think he's a player that's going to carry a team.
Plus,
I think the Knights are coming out.
With Memory, there was 4 roster moves, and I guarantee you Memory would have liked to be on any of those 3 other teams. So he was kind of the last pick to go to Flight. So sure, this team's down in the basement. Maybe Memory kind of upgrades them a little bit, but I don't know if that's enough. But once again, for Flight and for Sonics, that we'll talk about later, they did not beat any teams from the RLCS to get here. Every single week that they don't have a win, more and more pressure on them.
What are you expecting out of Flight then? What's the style you want to see them approach? Who's where on the field?
I think you just have to have solid communication overall and have, really even play style, because if you try and force too much of Memory being, the defensive end and playing passive, why are you shaking your head?
I'm shaking my head because the answer is simple. It's give the ball to Seabass. Let him shoot. That's it.
Like Rapid's
I disagree. It is Rapid. But
Rapid is good, but he's failed me so many times. He's so
the Rapid resets. I remember you called it like 4 times.
Every week he's DMing me on Twitter saying, this is the week I hit the Rapid reset, and it never happened. So I'm not going to ever count on Rapid ever again. He is a good shooter. I'll give him that. And he does have great mechanical ability, but Seabass, he is the key.
Honestly, I'm still thinking back right now. Guys, I got to switch it up. I'm thinking back like to Season 8 Worlds right now and how hype it was and how hype I am looking forward to Season 9 Worlds because it's going to be crazy. The question is, will it be just as crazy as Season 8? Let's find out, and let's go.
I think I need therapy when my fear gets the best of me. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. I didn't know I was on casualty until you stopped my heart and you made me see. Confess, saw you in that red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles. rules inside my head.
NRG do what they could not do before.
I didn't know I was a casualty until you stopped my heart and you made me see I need love. I need you.
That's right. April 24th to 26th, in case you guys missed the announcement, in Dallas, Texas, is our Season 9 Worlds. You can get your tickets February 22nd. And for more information, jump online to our blog post for more information on Worlds, tickets, and pricing. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Worlds never fails to disappoint. It's exciting every single time, and honestly, it gets better and better. I think the audience just get better and better, too. Now, one thing I do got to call it here is we tried really, really hard for continuity. And Gibbs, I mean, ignore the missing person.
What is that?
But what is that tie, Gibbs?
I messed up, all right?
tried.
Look, I got 2 kids at home, so I have bigger problems, Leaf, than worrying about my tie I wore last week, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone at home.
James, you did a good job.
I thank you. I mean, it was easy for me.
Anyways, now that we did all the talking, from last week, just chill and watch ourselves. I do have another question. This is still going to be our first series, our first game of the decade of 2020, which means someone's going to get the first goal of the decade. I'm just kind of curious who you guys think that's going to be. We got the Knights up against Flight. Who's taking that first goal?
Well, there's been a lot of hate from the pros and from the Reddit community on AJ, and I think AJ will deliver throughout the series. He's going to get the first goal.
You're close. You're close because AJ will shoot it, but Reynolds is always upfield. He's going to steal it.
He's going to send it out.
I'm telling you, it's Reynolds.
Because
easy.
So every single player wants that goal. So we might see a goal steal happen
It's
for
Reynolds,
sure.
100%.
I want Rapid to call you out. I want Rapid to get the rapid reset.
I'll wire him 10 grand if he hits a rapid reset.
There you go.
That'd be great. Anyways, let us know who you guys think is going to get that first goal of RLCS Season 9, the first goal of the decade on Twitter at RL Esports, hashtag RLCS9. But it's now time to give the casters a chance to talk over to the commentary booth.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 9 of the Rocket League Championship Series. We're finally here, Chiefs. We finally made it. I don't actually believe that James knows how to wire money. So, Rapid, you just do you, man. Don't worry about that at all. Also, I kind of think Rapid might get the first goal of the season.
It's possible. I think, there is potential for the rapid reset, but no, I stand with James. I think Seabass is definitely the answer with the Flight guys.
Seabass?
Yes.
I think, didn't James say Reynolds? I feel like Reynolds is a genuine option, but then again, this is a silly game to play because there are 6 players on the field. One of them's gonna hit it, but yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be exciting. I'm super excited. We've got some returning veterans in the Knights brought over AJ from Rogue, and we have Flight on the other side. Many Rapid, the rookie here, both Memory and Seabass having played in former seasons. Yep. But the first time playing in RLCS as a team. Thoughts about Flight here, Chiefs?
Flight is kind of this enigma of what to expect because I like them. I've seen all of them on teams before, right? Yeah. But none of those teams have ever done anything particularly good.
No.
And so you're just like, okay, well, we're glad to have you back, right? But you're going against this restructured Pittsburgh Knights.
Yes.
So it feels almost exactly like Pittsburgh Knights in a kind of weird roundabout way. Not quite in the same sense, but they did really well at one thing, or they've been at this level before, but you just don't want to believe they're going to be lights out.
I don't know. I have trouble like looking at the veteran experience of Flight and really putting a lot of weight on it. You have Seabass, who has gone 1-6 in RLCS 2 times, so he's played 2 seasons and won 2 matches. And then you have Memory, who has never won more than 3 matches in a season. So it's not that they don't have experience playing at this level, but they've never been productive to the point that they're able to get themselves to Worlds. On the other side, you have Knights come in as a rookie team, make it to day 3, have to go up against reigning world champs to get knocked out, and it's quite the difference.
And Knights, they proved a lot of people wrong last season, which is another reason that it's shocking to see them make a roster move.
I wanted another season of Mist on this roster, so AJ was moving conversation over to them. AJ is a huge question mark here for me on the Knights.
Yeah, so you have to think about what you're gaining with a player like AJ. If you watch the tape from the Knights during the offseason, you understand that, Gyro is a guy with a lot of ball control, and you feel like AJ also brings that level of control with the ball and trying to generate chances. But the fact that AJ obviously is not Mist, I feel like you're going to lose a little bit of that aggressiveness over on the Knights side of the pitch. So I'm expecting a lot more dribble plays, a lot more ball control, and I expect more chances across the net rather than above the net.
Well, get up and get loud. It's game day, chat. We've got 5 wonderful North American battles here. We will start with Pittsburgh Knights versus Flight. Flight in the blue already up to take a shot. Seabass looking for that first goal of the season. 1 block, and Reynolds comes out to try and get the counterattack, but blocked by Memory in the midfield. It's Pittsburgh Knights in the orange, a best of 5 here to get the first win of the 9th season.
And early double commits as well for the Knights. That was definitely not a good start on defense, but again, already trying to keep that ball close on those sidewalls and get themselves some opportunities.
AJ looking to set up his new teammates. Seabass out of the corner has an answer now. Gyro over the top of 1. 2 defenders will handle it nicely, and Rapid, the rookie here, makes his name known. Memory now past 2. Gyro rotates on to goal, goes for the challenge, gets demolished. This is a setup in front of the box, but Rapid isn't too far up in the pass, maybe unexpected there. Won't be able to find a shot. Here comes a play from Memory into the box. AJ's up early for it, looking for Reynolds. He's not going to be able to find this redirect. Can he find the second touch? Doesn't actually make contact, and AJ misses. Gyro with lots of space will find his teammate. And now a carry over 2, dribbles it off the crossbar or off the back wall, and it pitches high above the goal.
And you can definitely see Knights constantly trying to just stay as close to these balls as possible. Reynolds with a long pass and no problem for Memory. And I'm also curious to see if Memory coming over here to Flight, almost Rapid able to start off 2020 with the first goal of RLCS, but I'm curious if, because Memory was on the Ghost roster for a while, and they are historically a tough team to break down defensively. And I'm curious to see if he's able to bring a little bit of that expectation over to this Flight roster.
3 minutes 20 left to go. A few good looks from both teams, but no one able to find the back of the net. Gyro gets a touch up, but a little low on boost and on velocity, so he'll back off. Now Memory in the midfield. AJ beats him to the ball. Nice quick attack. Now the challenge, Rapid onto the back wall, beats 1 defender. Seabass up, is not able to find the shot, and Reynolds will carry this one high and try to maintain control for his team, dribbling it on the wall, as the best players do. A nice kind of double tap off the ground, I guess. Get it past the front line offense. Gyro lofts this one high, no one on Knights. Really good position. Reynolds is up and makes contact, and what was a scary situation easily could have turned into a goal. AJ gets the second touch, and now Gyro will look for the clear soft off of the bottom of his car. He'll try to muscle it through Memory, get some help from Reynolds.
And Flight, they're feeling, they're willing to take a couple risks on Pittsburgh on defense. They haven't really been able to convert any of the chances or generate a strong scoring opportunity, but they have the aggression to try and go for things.
AJ with a beautiful second touch there, quite the read on Memory. It doesn't really turn into much. Gyro at the back of his car in his corner. Clever touches coming through from the Knights, but they can't get it out of their back third, and Memory's like, hey, I can play with the back of my car too. Puts it back into the corner. We're across halftime here in game number 1 of Season 9. No goals yet to be scored. A demolition, but Reynolds was also up. The double commit actually kind of works out for the team, and now AJ will look for the clear. Can he find the first goal? He's got the flip reset. Oh, he couldn't quite tuck it in. The follow-up from Gyro's high. Reynolds airborne, maybe. Oh, he tries to come in, but AJ on the retreat out blocks him, and now AJ is going to have to play some defense all by himself. No boost in the tank. Rapid goes for the ball instead of the boost, but this still might turn into a goal. Tries to make it happen, but Gyro gets in the way, and the Knights will stave off that first goal.
And that was a great bit of understanding from the Knights as well, because you're absolutely right. AJ in a terrible position, rotating back from the midfield with not a lot of boost, and it's really just a delaying touch to hope for the best. And Gyro and Reddles rotating in behind him. Great job staying poised and knowing that they're the first ones to that ball as it comes across and not trying to force anything or make a bad touch.
Love the patience from Memory to try and catch that one. Certain he could get the ball off of the opponent's hood. 1 away left to go, approaching the final minute. AJ now into the corner, pass 2. Rapids challenging him, and he'll get the ball away from him. Looks to set this one up, but couldn't quite get it out, and Reddles will find the clear. Now up to get the ball. Memory's already airborne. AJ looks for a response, but doesn't actually make any contact on the wall, and Seabass has a clean clear all to himself. Reddles being challenged by Memory. Over the top of him. Rapids should be there first. He takes it into the corner. Seabass lurking in the midfield, looking for the shot, but AJ finds the counter. Now Gyro out towards AJ. Memory with the interception. Now looking for a second touch. Can he find the goal himself? Shoots well, but Reddles has the block. 30 seconds left. AJ over the top of one. Bumped high. Here comes Rapid. Shot towards the goal. Gyro's airborne for the save. He's got one touch, but is there a follow-up? Memory's too far back. Get it out of the corner. Gyro's up. Now down to Reddles. Reddles versus Rapid here. Can they get this goal in? Looks for the fake. Looks for the shot. And Rapid can't get there. Reddles will score that first goal.
Rapid had no boost on the way back. Had about 20 in the tank right there and thought about going for the challenge. Realized he wasn't going to make it. And then he only had 2 when he put himself in the 1v1. Missed all the pads on the way back to the net. And Reddles just floated it high into the net and he couldn't reach it.
A lot of people out there was predicting Reddles would get the first goal of the season, and it holds up. Rapid looks for the flip reset, tries to do it himself, and AJ gets the block. Can he get the second one? Oh, Seabass ties the game in 7 seconds. The rookie's coming back here.
What a great job here. Rapid, excellent fake to go under one. AJ and Gyro kind of get tied up with each other right on the corner of the goal, and Seabass, they've been putting great pressure on the Knights all game, and that's the first real scoring opportunity they have, and it's a big one.
Man, the late time goal, I fully expected that to be the only one of game number 1, but we are tied up. A valiant effort built by Rapid and into overtime here. First game of the season.
Wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm liking the pressure from Flight. You know, I came in not knowing what to expect, but they have great timing on their challenges out of the midfield. They don't always win them, but their pressure and the timing of how they approach them on the Knights half has been phenomenal.
Excellent car control from Gyro, but wasn't quite able to get the clear. So went straight to Memory, takes a shot. It's saved by the Knights defense. Now through one, Seabass gets a pop. Is AJ there? He looks for the shot, but Memory coming from behind the Knights players time and time again. Get that ball control away from them. Reynolds now past one, now trying to challenge Memory. Goes for the fake, but Memory just stands his ground and the ball pinches high. Ooh. AJ, no follow-up. There's Gyro under the wall. He'll look to follow it himself. Has half a tank to work with and spends it all. Getting that ball to the backboard. Reynolds falling all the way back here into this corner. Now Seabass up, looks for a shot. It's a bit high, and Gyro will send it off of his own woodwork. He'll get a second one on the follow-up. First minute will come and go. Reynolds off that backboard, and the Flight has done such a good job trapping the Knights for extended periods in this first game.
And if you're wondering why that's been, it goes back to that timing out of the midfield, the challenges. Because even though they aren't winning the challenges, they're getting the bump on the guy that's trying to keep these balls close. Like a lot of times the Knights trying to go for a challenge, and they'll go for a light dribble just to try and get it past the midfield. And oftentimes they end up getting bumped out of the way.
Oh, is this a goal? Oh, the beautiful setup from Knights. Still a possibility, but Rapid gets back down and in the way. An excellent play here in his first game. As Memory makes the play. Gyro was up for the block, but Memory still wins out. Now Reynolds looking for Gyro, but just he's triple coverage. Now over to the edge. Gyro past one. Reynolds advances to the midfield to support, but Memory in the way, making his presence known. Seabass not able to beat Reynolds, but Rapid will be here.
Oh, he's got Seabass.
Now Seabass looks for this pass back down, but Rapid demolished. Memory was up for the winner here. Can he find the double tap? It's not quite on target, and Seabass isn't able to beat Gyro. And now Reynolds, deep in enemy territory, looks for a shot from the corner, and Rapid makes the save. Fireworks here in overtime.
Beautiful transition from the Knights, but unfortunately saved again. And a nice demo from Memory means Gyro needs to take care of the ball. And as you said, Flight doing a great job getting it back.
The Knights built a reputation of being a very demo-heavy offense. We've seen precious little of it until this last 30 seconds or so, and both sides have started to get aggressive and physical. Now Reynolds up. fakes out one. Seabass on the goal line. He looks for the pass out, but Seabass will challenge him correctly and now has control at midfield. AJ is going to fall back, give Gyro space to move up and try and take the ball, get it out of the corner. We're almost at 3 minutes of overtime as Flight begins another siege.
You could see a little bit of that unfamiliarity out of the Pittsburgh Knights. AJ definitely trying to leave that challenge, not wanting to turn in case they double commit, but it was a slow pickup from the Knights on the other side because they weren't sure if AJ was going to turn in and go for that challenge or let it go.
Memory, the full tank. Many of the players on both sides of the ball out of boost right now. This miss could possibly spell disasters. Memory doesn't actually make contact. He spent half of his boost just trying to gain the bearings on the situation. Here comes Gyro up against Seabass. Look for the second touch, but he will go high. Reynolds looks for an obscene shot, tries to pass to AJ, but Memory has it out to Rapid, and they'll extend that one back into the orange. So we hit 3 minutes and 30 seconds of overtime.
Look at Gyro again, just trying to get right behind the ball. Has some help from Reynolds this time, and it's punched through.
He's got enough boost to reach this. Rapid gets up in the way. Reynolds looks for a shot. He has the flip reset, but Seabass has ball control. Right, here comes a shot from Gyro. Memory will have the save. Ball was high anyways. Now AJ has Seabass in the net. Rapid challenges him. Gyro with an opportunity, but doesn't move up quickly enough. 4 minutes into this first game. That was over at 8 seconds despite the heroics of Rapid to get them into this overtime. And now a shot from Memory, a save from Reynolds. Gyro double commits but hits the ground. They should be fine. And now Rapid back up, looking for the game winner. Back down to Seabass. Is anybody home? Gyro's in front of the net. Seabass fakes him into the ground. And that's the win for Flight.
Is Seabass going to be the answer? Well, he delivers both goals in game one and takes the first one off the Pittsburgh Knights. Reads Gyro's challenge, just sits under him and punches it right through him, expecting Seabass to go for the flick. And a beautiful read of the defense means Seabass will win game one.
What a game. And what a way to make a statement here in game number one for Flight.
That was a fun one. You put up, 16 shots for Flight.
And the first goal of the game at 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And when a goal goes in at 15 seconds, and it's like,
over.
well, that is probably over here. But Rapid, he went for. Did you notice him going for the Rapid reset on that 7 seconds play?
He tried.
He tried to make it happen.
He got the assist out of it. It's good enough.
I will tell you that he assisted in both the goals. 100% goal participation so far for Rapid this season. And absolutely a good game there. But game one, always a little bit of a you could call it a warm-up. You could call it getting the jitters out, especially first game of the season for both these teams. There's going to be a little bit of night settling in, okay, what sort of team are we this season? Is the demo meta different from them this season? We didn't see as much of it here in game one.
Yeah, so that's kind of feeding into what I was saying at the start. You know, when you have players like Gyro and AJ, because they're both very ball-controlled types of players. They like to keep things close. They like to force challenges and win them and put them in good opportunistic spots for their teammates in that sense. They don't really, Reynolds is the guy who's going to pound the ball off the wall and try and smash somebody. But Gyro and AJ don't strike me as those types of players. So yeah. I'm confident the Knights may develop back into that. But as it stands right now, when they just picked up AJ, everyone's trying to figure out what to happen. I don't know if they have that cohesion to really attempt that same level of risk that they had with Mist.
It does feel like it was more of a solo show game. Which three of these flashy players could make the goal happen and could clutch up for their team in their only goal? A solo play from Reynolds against a boostless Rapid. But game two, time to bounce back, get back in form. We'll see how they do.
And the thing you're looking for here out of the Knights is to transition a lot better from offense to defense, because they really did struggle to hold on to the ball. They got outshot by a margin of I think they had 9 or 8 shots or something to 16. So,
this is the same goal as the first one from their game. Rapid tries to pinch us off the ground towards the goal. And then Seabass just comes in and cleans it up. Knights defense just caught flat-footed here, and a great shot there from Seabass, just barely threads the needle.
Yeah, and it's really the freeze on AJ in that back post that really lets that goal happen, because he's got 2 of his teammates in front of him going for that challenge. So he kind of freezes himself on that back post just in case it punches out in a weird direction, but it's a clean shot for Seabass, and he goes to the far post, and AJ just hit the brakes a little too hard and couldn't reach it.
Flight took the win in game number 1 after 4-something minutes of overtime, and now have the lead here in game 2. Memory's looking for some defenders, but Gyro's already airborne. He'll make the stop. Now AJ, challenged by Rapid into the corner. Gyro's out to Reynolds. Outfield pass, wide of the goal. Memory has it to the side. Gyro beat one. Seabass with a nice long touch down the field, but AJ on that back wall has the counter clear all the way back to midfield. The boys just knocking it back and forth right now. Both team looking for a no-threat zone, somewhere to put the ball. The other team can't get to it.
Some great touches from Flight. Always able to find a hole in that Knights defense. Don't have a particularly wide spread of the field. You can see all three of them kind of on the back line here. They don't really have any options for where to put the ball. That's because they're really trying to get AJ and Gyro to break out, and then they can get more aggressive. Until that happens, could be tough.
Oh, there's a pass to Gyro, looks for the shot, but Seabass has it. Now AJ with the follow-up. Into the air, looking for the double tap, but Rapid gets onto that backboard and gets in the way. Now Memory on the counterattack, up against Rlcs. Get it to his corner. Memory just backs out of boost. Rlcs will try to make the clear here, and Knights right now definitely struggling to get this ball to their own corner. Can AJ block this one? Memory actually doesn't challenge him, doesn't take a shot, and AJ manages to get it all by himself down the field, looks for a double tap. This will be quite the angle to hit, and his teammates aren't there. Gyro now has to fly all the way back down, and he'll make one stop. But Rapid will look for his teammates. Gyro with a quick rotation underneath. No boost to his name, but he didn't need it. Just got contact on the ball. Now Seabass up against Rlcs. It's off to the edge, and Gyro should be able to get this one out of his half.
Ooh, he's stretching too. And again, that timing, the positioning, the challenges from Flight, making it so tough to hang onto the ball.
Woo!
Everybody locks up. Rapid can finish.
Oh!
And the Knights just freeze, and they give up a goal.
Well played. Rapid gets his first goal of his RLCS career, and what a goal it is, too. The read that the double jump was coming in, they're probably going to put that ball right about here, and I'm going to shoot that one straight in. A beautiful play, and Flight are up by 2.
Yeah, and it's danger time if you're the Knights. Because you remember, if you read the offseason for why they ended up choosing AJ, you know, they said they felt good with AJ and Scrims, and it's a lot to say that you felt good with AJ and Scrims considering you made Worlds.
Yeah,
and performed far above any sort of expectation you might have had, and to come out here and currently be in the threat of being down 0-2.
They're looking for a few passes now. There's been more pass options from Pittsburgh here in game number 2, but still none of them finding the back of the net. Their first goal came at 15 seconds in game number 1. Rlcs sets this one up high. Gyro looks for a goal, but Memory takes it off of the crossbar before any shot technically existed. And the defensive Flight holding on. You talked about Memory being a staunch defender on Ghosts earlier. He's definitely shown some of that here against Knights.
It's a valuable quality to always have someone you can trust in that defensive role. I mean, all the best teams in the world have a strong player. Torment on cloud 9. You know, Justin I consider one of the best defenders in a third-man role. And you know, if you have a player that can always get the ball out of a tough spot, it just gives you that level of confidence and willingness to take a bigger risk.
I feel like calling Justin
I know.
good defenders like saying it's nice to have a wise player like Superman on your team. Like, yes, he's also many other things. But 45 seconds left. That was a really solid chance from the Knights there. They had a good player down.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Seabass dribbles them. 2 defenders in net.
Out of his own corner.
Look at that. This is the full court carry.
AJ.
What a play.
AJ and Gyro.
Oh, all 3 of them, the family portrait. He got him. Burn the axles at the stake, man. That is a highlight disrespect play if I've ever seen one.
Not a good look for the Knights, but a phenomenal start, especially for Seabass. That's his 4th goal.
I was starting to think this game was maybe just slowing down, but no, he heats it back up. Oh my goodness. Flight came to play. Many people counting them out as this another pass. Memory looks for a 4th. It's coming back down in front of the goal again. Rlcs will get this one off, and Seabass just keeps the pressure on. And man, this has been the bane of Knights, this pressure. And I don't think it really has entirely to do, though, with Flight. As this game winds down, the chance of winning next to impossible. Actually, not enough time to score 3 goals for the Knights. So game 2 going to be going here to Flight. They will have a 2-game advantage, 1 away from sweeping Knights. We'll see if they are able to bounce back in game 3. But here's my thing about Knights.
Okay.
When you have 2 players who are stylish and who are flashy and who are like to go, like to half rotate, You see this in your ranked games. You need at least one player who's like, yeah, you guys go for it. It's fine.
Sure.
It'll be all right. And that player, I think, was Mist. I think Mist was so comfortable letting Gyro and Rlcs be aggressive, and when you have a demo-heavy offense, you need that even more. You need to know somebody is waiting in the back, because if we're all three rotating here, the demo might be too much time. And as you can see, Seabass's goal, it was an absolutely incredible carry there from him. But if there's too much, if you have, it takes more time to get that demolition, so you need a player who is already back.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they can go for demolitions as much because they're not as secure on that back line. And right now, they are struggling in so many ways. That's one of them.
And well, that goes back to what I was talking about with why I feel that is, because you don't have that familiarity of what each player's tendencies are in different situations. If you remember, I brought it up with AJ rotating back in and allowing Gyro to go out of the net and go for a challenge. And they're not quite sure exactly when that moment happens for everybody yet. And so that slows down a little bit of that aggression you can have on defense. And if your timing is a little bit slow, then you're going to slowly concede more and more space to the opposition when they start pushing you. And that's exactly what Flight have done. I mean, their challenges out of the midfield have been snap. You know, as soon as they get the ball out, bam, someone's right in their face. And the Knights have just never really had an opportunity to control the ball, because while they had reduced shot opportunities in Game 2, they still absolutely crushed the Knights in that category. I mean, I'm not sure how many were quality, but generating chances is always better than not.
Well, I think right now the Knights are actually struggling in a fundamental area of just clearing the ball out of their corner. They have been trapped in their own half so many times, and we saw in that game too, Flight over and over. Does Seabass find it? Oh, he does! AJ Rapid will steal the goal from him. Hey, give him the stat. Secure it on up. Poor AJ just bamboozled in net.
Yeah, Seabass waiting on that clear all the way across, and a beautiful job to get back on the other side and knock it down. Probably would have rolled in on its own, but, you know, Rapid has to try and show James up in some fashion.
That's right.
So tap another one home.
I think AJ also maybe getting harassed a little bit in net, but still absolutely mind blown. Now Rlcs into a corner. Can he find a shot? 1v1. It's just wide. You gotta hit that one. Now here comes Gyro with a follow-up. Seabass hits his place. Rlcs comes in. The offense stays aggressive, and finally Knights play their game.
That's a great job here. Rlcs knows he has the back post. Doesn't get it, unfortunately, but nice job from Gyro to not get greedy there and try and force that shot opportunity. They had two guys sitting anywhere in the goal line that probably could have got just about anything. So to dump that back off to Rlcs and let him take a second chance on the open side of the net, great vision and understanding and selflessness.
Ooh, AJ looking for a shot. Now Rapid with the counterattack. Got Seabass behind him. Gyro challenges. Now Seabass will go. Trying to read both players as AJ and Rlcs kind of made it difficult. And they'll manage to find some semblance of ball control here. Memory finally loses a challenge in the midfield, and Gyro will get into the corner. Both of his teammates there. They need to make this one work. AJ demolished might actually be the best thing that's happened for Knights on this play, as Rapid will be up, and now AJ on that back line. Try. He's not able to find any control. Man, Flight just keeps it high at midfield away from all of the Knights players. And again, they're keeping this one in this corner. Rlcs and Gyro over there. Seabass challenges one. Rlcs will go for second touch and get it up high. Rapid just tries to stall the play out. Rlcs goes for a boost steal, now looks for a demo. Has a bump on a Memory. Gyro gets this one high. Here's AJ for the finish. Seabass gets in his way. Rlcs not going to be around as he falls back. But you saw him hunting for those demos again as Knights try to get back in their Season 8 groove.
Tough play to make for Seabass as well with no boost, but Knights threatening towards an open goal, and Gyro just gets a freebie.
He was going for the bumps on the setup here with AJ. He might have gone for Seabass too. No, Seabass went for boost. And then I guess AJ does gate block. I don't think he was going to get to that ball anyways, though, as he was clearly low on the tank, and Knights take the lead back here in Game 3.
That's a very awkward breakdown for Flight to suffer. But considering they know, oh, look at Rlcs, he just wants his teammates to get set, but unfortunately he just dumps it right off, and that means Rapid has an easy challenge here. And those are the types of plays that have let Flight keep him. He didn't win the ball, but he tipped the player and stops them from keeping that ball control as much as they would want, and Flight come in and pick up the pieces.
You're rotating well, and you got players behind you. You just got to make them lose control. Your teammate will pick up the rest. Massive double commit in the midfield on offense, but AJ will win it, and now try to keep the pressure on. Gyro into the corner. AJ looks for bumps. Gyro wins one. It's opened up some space. Rlcs airborne, puts it back towards the corner, back towards the goal. It's a bit slow, and Seabass able to recover in time. Now AJ with a shot just wide. Rlcs will try to keep this one on offense for his team. Grabbing Gyro off the ceiling. Now Seabass up. AJ waits on the back line. Seabass looks for his second air dribble out of his corner in this game. Not going to happen this time, and Memory not quite able to get to the ball.
Ran out of boost.
Gyro up, Rapid needs to make a touch. He gets it over to Seabass, and the retreating defense from Flight has been pretty strong.
Oh, that's a great pop. And look at Rapid just putting pressure on Gyro, forcing him to go for it, but Rlcs.
Oh! Memory gets in the way. The players were coming in looking for the demos, but he's able to dodge the demo and get the save, and the pressure from Knights starting to really build here. Rlcs to the corner. Memory in the corner, comes out of his goal, manages to get a clear out, but AJ reads in Gyro now. Knights, after being trapped on offense for 2 games straight, managed to start to suffocate Flight in their own half.
A couple more of those balls starting to find gaps, and unfortunately Rlcs not able to fit that one under the crossbar, but still slowly but surely getting more and more chances. This free ball in the midfield, and how do they handle it?
Oh, that should be a goal. Rlcs takes the shot upper 9. He just barely misses. 2 defenders in net. The placement was nearly perfect. Gyro will actually pick up this boost. Now he's going to go for the slow carry. Looks for the flipper. He's set underneath. Tries to do his best Justin impression, but couldn't quite get it there. And now Rapid to the edge. There's Gyro. Rlcs tries, but Gyro's touch is far from Rlcs. He has to stretch across the field to get to here. Now AJ looking for more pressure.
Oh, dangerous.
Rapid already up. He'll beat Gyro to the ball. As the final minute approaches, Flight, they've got a 2-game lead in the series. If they win this one, they'll get the sweep on Knights and a first win here in RLCS. But they've got to close it out. They've got to find a way to get a goal. Get us to overtime.
And an unlikely one at that. I would imagine most people would have chosen Knights to win based off of last season alone.
Demolition onto Rlcs on the far side means he's not there for the pass. 40 seconds left. Memory and Rapid start to set this one up at midfield. Rapid tries to extend after a second touch, and now Rlcs and Gyro back into the blue. Gyro's off of Memory. Rlcs and AJ tag team this one to get it back into the corner. Burning time will win Knights the game.
Slowly, Knights also winning more and more of those challenges. They've been going into neutral or losing, and now they're starting to win them. And
all Rapid might have a touch onto his own. AJ got up in time. Now Seabass back into the box. Rlcs tries out of the box, and here comes Memory. Pass in the midfield. Rapid's there. A bump from Seabass to open it up. Can Rapid just find the shot? He's got to adjust 2 times. Too many touches to gain control of this ball, and it will hit the ground here in a second. Well, they've actually managed to keep that one alive. Now AJ up. He should be able to actually put this one in.
Oh, he missed.
And Rapid actually, we'll see how this goes. Right now, they're keeping it alive for a long time. Finally, all right, cool. There we go. Knights, they bounce back. They get the win here in Game 3. We're not done just yet.
I think I was kind of feeling your tone of voice in my mind at the end of that game. It's like, you know what? That is actually a bit more dangerous than I would care to admit. Them unable to either score that or knock it down, because Flight was doing a good job keeping that ball up. But
a surprise, honestly, it was like they kept it alive, and I'm like, I still don't believe that you're going to be able to get back behind this. And for me, it was that final moment with Rapid. But here, the go-ahead goal is Gyro is able to put this one in on kind of a wide open defense. Mainly, I want to put this on Seabass, but then again, I believe his teammate was rotating to the far side as well.
It's tough to say, because, I mean, Seabass could be expecting that challenge to have tipped out that way instead of just dropping straight down onto the ground for a shot. And then as soon as he sees that, he knows it's already too late. Because, you know, that's what Rocket League is 90% of the time, anticipation of what you expect to happen. And if he's expecting that ball to go a certain way and then it just drops off in a totally different area, and to make matters worse, it's right in a shooting lane. I mean, you're dead at that point. You've made a choice. You're wrong. Now you're going to get beat for it, and they ended up losing 2-1.
Rapid here scores the only goal for Flight. He leads his team in goals in that game, so he's having, honestly, an exceptional or an adequate first series here in the RLCS.
Yeah.
It's been nice to watch. The thing for me with the Knights has been these corner plays where they seem to struggle to get them out, and they did manage to get some sieges going themselves, but I see from Flight, they're constantly comfortable. I'm just going to hit this ball back into the corner where a Knights player already is, and I know he's not going to be able to take this control away from me. I want to keep this pressure on, and that sort of thing could be disastrous if Knights is not able to get the fundamentals of just getting the ball out of their own corners down pat.
I do think Knights, when they got the ball on offense and it got jammed in the corner, much more dangerous, winning a lot more of the challenges. But you're absolutely right. Coming out of their own corners, it's been mediocre at best.
Well, Knights are able to avoid, to dodge the sweep while getting a win in Game 3. And now for Flight, the real clincher in RLCS. Can you close out a series? It's going to be their next task. They've gotten the first win. Reynolds looking for a double tap. Actually gets it off of Rapid, but Memory is able to clean this one up. Now Gyro putting more pressure on. Rapid airborne again, off the corner, still dangerous. Gyro not in a position to go and bump the goalie, and Memory gets up, but misses the second touch. Now Seabass picking it up against Reynolds, looks for a flick, and Reynolds will get it off to the side. Won't be able to find the second touch, though. Rapid now airborne. He gets a bounce. Reynolds out of his goal, the long clear, up to AJ. Seabass coming out of the corner, AJ looks for the goal. Seabass makes the stops. First minute and a half gonna come and go here. No goals on the board just yet.
And it's not necessarily a bad idea for Knights to go for those long counterattack plays. It's just the control on that first touch is usually just so strong, and this is a nice job from Emery to try and poke the ball through, but I believe he lost the boost in the midfield.
Oh, he actually got that boost, surprisingly, but it's not going to matter in the end. Seabass in net here. Reynolds rotates out of the blue goal. Doesn't find any bumps, understanding that the team has got the clear. Now AJ looks for Reynolds on the far side, looking for the pass play. I was excited where that one was going, but Reynolds doesn't make contact. And now Memory. Here's a shot towards the goal. Reynolds gets up in time and makes the save. And his teammate AJ keeps this one high. Rapid will look to stall it out. Just pops it to the corner. Kills a little bit. Finds a nice delayed flip use. And now Rapid up against AJ. Getting challenged by Reynolds. Will take the ball control away from him and then get bumped afterwards by Gyro on the rotation back in.
Great job from Reynolds to come in there and just pressure Rapid on the way in, but they dropped the ball.
Here's AJ off of his back wall over the top of Rapid. A challenge. Oh, Rapid just fakes him out. Memory tries to fake him too. AJ sets this one up on a platter. Gyro, though, not willing to commit all three players. Hangs back on defense. Seabass now. The air carries once more. Memory onto this back wall. Just tries to pinch it. No defender bites. All three players from Knights kind of grouped up, but they win the challenges. Gyro and Reynolds now trying to pressure Memory. He puts it high, takes the ball away from them, and now back in front of the box. There's Reynolds. Cross halftime. Echoes of game number 1. No goals scored yet.
And the Flight's just letting them, because here's what Flight's doing. They'll drive at you, they'll put the pressure on you, force you to make a move, and then they just leave.
Oh, the handoff. What a play there. AJ sets this up. Reynolds, he fakes that he's going to make the play, and Reynolds like, I got this, man. Calls him off. That's the first goal.
Okay, you can definitely understand Seabass getting crossed up right there, because looking at it from his perspective in the goal line, what can you do? I mean, anytime you've got two people crossing in front of each other and you don't know which one's going to take the shot, it's exactly what we were talking about in between this game, you know? You pick one, you're either wrong or you're not.
Yeah. You're either the hero or you're scored on. So here comes Memory now with ball control. 1:42 on the game clock. Knights trying to get to game 5. Flight would love to close it out here in game 4, but no offense in this game. Gyro with a read on Memory, understanding. Oh, but he blocks up AJ, hitting his reverse there. He didn't communicate it with the rest of his team, and that means Flight will have an opportunity here. Memory tries to drop this one off the ceiling. Seabass lofted high once more, now looking to keep this one going. Now Rapid up and into a corner. Can he find Memory? Reynolds will have control. Memory airborne fast. Well, still got a little bit of boost to work with here. Finds a second touch off of AJ, but still not able to get it to the goal.
That's the tough touch. Seabass might have won the ball. And thankfully, Reynolds can't reach it on the counterattack. This is a nice turnaround, but do they win the challenge to hang on to the ball?
They didn't maintain control at all. Now Reynolds just putting the pressure on. Happy to boot up the artillery and just fire shots from the midfield. There's over one, looks for a bump on Rapid, gets him confused at least, but he's got some space to get control of this one. Gets it underneath Reynolds. Got Memory in tow. He can afford just to tackle here. Memory will actually double commit with him, and now Reynolds and Gyro on the far wall. They've got AJ in the midfield. He's not looking for the pass just yet. Tries to go for the slow plays. Now Seabass. Reynolds just absolutely trying to dismantle this team by himself, and it does not go in.
Dangerously close. That's what happens when you're under pressure, and they're through 2 on Flight.
He's got a full tank here. Players in the midfield. Memory looks for the pass, but it's just a bit too high. The defenders were in position as well. Now they've got 2 beat. Can Seabass make the stop? He's got to pass one. Now up against AJ. It's over the top of him. Can he reach it with the boost? Off the back wall. Back in front. Memory's there to take the shot. Oh, but it's too short, and Knights will get us to game 5.
A lot of pressure on Memory there to shoot that ball in a perfect spot. You definitely knew it was going his way after Seabass was able to finagle that over AJ and get it to pop into the middle. You knew that Rapid was not going to have the cleanest angle. Opted to let Memory take it, but got a little bit too on top of it. Just drilled it right towards the ground, and Flight will sneak through with a bit of a cheeky goal here. I believe it was you're absolutely right. He totally boosts down, too.
Yeah.
He just leaves.
He's like, you got this. I believe in you. Making space. Here comes the pain train. He does, just turns, he's out.
He just leaves.
Oh, that's a great play.
It's disgusting.
That's my favorite goal of the season so far. The goal of the season, we're just gonna call it right now. Interesting stat lines here too. Flight with 2 saves on the 3 shots from Knights, and Knights with 4 saves on the 4 shots from Flight. So perfect accuracy from both teams. One slips through, and that's the one that wins the game there for Knights. And yeah, they are definitely starting to rally. Still doesn't look the same as the Knights from previous seasons.
No, definitely not.
That one goal, I don't think I've ever seen that really before in that sort of style. But they do get us to Game 5, and again, the kryptonite of so many teams in the RLCS. Can you close out the series?
Yeah, it's tough, and it also doesn't help that the Knights, I believe they're changing how they're clearing the ball. Because a lot of it before was, they get the ball off the corner, they were struggling to clear the ball off the corner because they were trying to go through people.
Yeah.
That last game, it felt like anytime they got the ball jammed in the corner, really, it was long clears. They were going all the way across the pitch. Didn't matter if someone was there or not. It was just to give themselves some space to work with and readjust the defense. And I think it worked out pretty well for them.
Well, Game 5 in the first series of Season 9. You wouldn't have it any other way. Champions Field here. Finally, Garrett and Justin's names hang in the rafters. All these players looking to get their names etched in history on this stadium. Here's Memory for a shot. AJ's got to save. Rapid with the follow-up. Excellent positioning. If you're going to play that close to each other, you got to find that touch, and he makes it work.
Yeah, great touch here from Seabass to beat 2 people. Reddles thinking Gyro's going to get that ball to the corner, ready for his teammate to lead him into the boost so they get a nice, strong counterattack, but he misses the ball. And then the follow-up from AJ just doesn't have the angle to really get any power on it, and Rapid just ate it up.
Seabass off the kickoff. They look to extend this lead after not scoring anything in game number 4. They get a goal in the first 30 seconds here. Now Memory, the pass in field to Rapid. It's a bit far ahead of his teammate. Now the counterattack. Gyro gets up in time before Memory can get the bump on him. Rapid and Seabass in their corner. Taking some time. There's a pinch over in front. Rapid will look to reach this, but Reynolds beats him to it. But there is no Gyro. Put pressure on the midfield. He hung back, and now this one's going towards the box dangerously. AJ able to dodge the first bump, and now Gyro's having to hit the brakes, do a 180, trying to stop this one. Memory's off of 2, and now Seabass with so much ball control. AJ up against him will actually make the tackle and force Seabass's hand.
Seabass wants that back. He knows he hit that first touch with a little too much power and just drove it right back towards the Knights when he could have really put pressure on him.
Stand down. Seabass again, slowing the game. Gyro's tackling. Now, off the corner. Rapids airborne, back towards orange half. Reynolds will send this one nice and high. Again, like you said, the clear game getting a bit better here. Gyro and AJ both challenges. Reynolds alone. Rapids out of boost, though, and he's not going to be able to make the play. Now Seabass looks for a follow-up shot. AJ takes his time, but gets this one at least out to Memory's hood. And now, back across the midfield line, there's a counter. Reynolds is able to cover the midfield. Gyro backs up in net, dodges the demolition from Rapid. Over 1, Memory. Back across. Reynolds keeps it high. Seabass from the ceiling sends a soft one towards the goal, and it's easily played by AJ. A miss from Rapid. Seabass will get the counter touch, but back and forth, the long clears. Here comes all 3 members of the Knights. Gyro off the backboard, gets it pinched heavily by Seabass. AJ puts it back in the midfield, but Reynolds, is he in position to make any sort of play? AJ actually made a second touch there. And with halftime of the game, half of our game gone, Knights yet to score, but starting to look more and more deadly.
Continuing, just get those clears into space if you're the Knights players, because it is allowing you some breathing room to get some boost and try and make more plays happen. See, all the way across instead of trying to go through the defender.
Oh, it was a nice idea, I think, from Gyro. Leave that one, try see if you can bait in some defenders to come up for you, and then Reynolds has an easier shot, but none of the defenders bit. And they all defended Reynolds. Now Gyro trying to set it up once more. Reynolds in the midfield. There's 2 defenders. He just can't go for it. Now Seabass and Memory, both on this far side, kind of have the same idea. The two players will try to tag team it, but Gyro's actually able to beat them both. Rapid Airborne manages to get enough of a block on AJ to get it back out to Seabass, but Seabass getting bumped by AJ on the retreat. The ball's a little bit loose, and Reynolds comes in to take control.
Oh, this is an awkward ball for Memory. He needs to be. Oh, AJ gave him time.
Gave him so much space, but it works out here as Gyro's able to get it back across. Now Seabass wins it against two. It's up to AJ. He blocks off Seabass, but is that the play? Seabass actually comes back around after picking up the boost. Nearly gets two touches. Here's Rapid for the win. That's 2 goals up for Flight.
That's AJ's fault.
It does go back to him leaving that space, and then Seabass beats into the boost in the corner.
Memory had like no touch on that ball. He was just putting pressure on them to try and force them back into their corner, and he just didn't have a good follow-up, and AJ kind of just froze up. And then it gave time for Flight to recover, win the next ball, and then they double committed in the goal and scored.
1:13 on the clock. Knights, one of the best teams in the world last year, going up against a team promoted out of the rival series. Both made roster changes. And right now, Flight poised to take their first win in 5 games. Gyro now out to the edge. Pass 2. He gets a bump. Is AJ there? No! Rapid manages to close the gap and get the block. Now Reynolds out to AJ. Back and through the box. Rapid finds the goal. 43 seconds left and Knights have life.
Oh, what a play from Reynolds here. Nice touch through one, and AJ, excellent job to go and get that ball. You know you need something. And how about it? If you're going to give up a goal, he just made up for it. They're right back in the same position. That was a great give back to Reynolds.
The 1-2-1, but can they find the goal? A nice kickoff setup here. They went for demos immediately. Memory, I think the only one standing, actually Reynolds got demolished in the enemy corner. Now a shot from AJ. Can Rapid get there? Gyro tries to block him. Here comes Reynolds with the follow pass. And AJ, he ties the game. Oh my goodness, Knights light it up, and there's 30 seconds left to play.
And that is twice in this series. Just a beautiful laydown. Reynolds, Gyro getting in Memory's face, slows him down on the goal line. Reynolds dishes it off to AJ, remembering that Gyro did him that favor earlier. Oh, what a goal.
It's the Pittsburgh Knights, man. They don't score unless someone's in the net holding a defender down with his bare hands. 25 seconds left and we got a ball game. It's not over yet. It's AJ through 2. Memory in the corner. Seabass rotates in the goal, but Reynolds will beat Memory here. And now Seabass with space. Takes some time. Gyro grounded. There's AJ. Off the back wall, 10 seconds left. This game started. The series started with a 4-minute overtime. Are we ready for another one? As they get 2 touches, and it nearly turns into an own goal, but the clock will expire. Can they put it into the ground? Where they will. Overtime, game 5, first series of season 9. Are you entertained?
And you gotta favor the Knights here. That last second push to score 2 goals in like 10 seconds, that has got to rock you if you're Flight. A comfortable 2-0 lead that late, and it just disintegrated in front of your eyes. You got to find one more.
Reynolds uses his entire tank to reach this ball. Now AJ back down. Seabass with an opportunity to win the game, but Gyro gets in the way. Now Memory was a little bit confused. Seabass a bit bumped. Reynolds looks for the second touch. He actually reaches it, but the defensive Flight completely stopped. Seabass in the corner just struggling to find any touch. Knights
are coming back.
Absolutely controlling this game right now. 40 seconds left. It's back in front of the box. 40 seconds into overtime, rather. There's no time left. Here comes Gyro. Now AJ to 1. Seabass not able to find control. Leaves it for Memory, but the demos, man, started to come out in full force.
It's a good demo from Flight because it forces Pittsburgh Knights to back up just a couple steps. AJ driving across the goal line, trying to poke Seabass out of position. A nice job from Rapid there to break out of the corner.
Oh, an absolute clanger of a shot defended by the Knights. Memory puts his one back in front. Rapid's up, looking to win the game. AJ's there too, but he gets the block. The 2 transfers. Oh, and here comes a shot from Seabass. Can AJ get the way? Oh, he gets the save, and Reynolds gets the clear. Knights hold on defense. Oh my goodness. And now Reynolds through 1. AJ up. Seabass gets it off to the side. Rapid is sitting in the net looking for defenders. Seabass fakes out 1, but there's 2 you gotta beat. Gyro's got it away from the corner. Now Memory back up and back out to midfield.
Can release that pent-up breath if you're a Knights fan, but it's not done yet. Reynolds dives across and makes a save, and Rapid finally denied by Gyro, and the Knights have a chance to go down to the other end of the pitch.
AJ's up. He's stalling this out. Can he find a way to control? Gets the dribble on one. Do we have two dribbles? Leaves it for Reynolds again. Doesn't find the double tap. AJ's got to slow this down, but Memory will not be beaten in that situation. Now out of the corner. Gyro, the next going to threat. Lurking at the midfield line. Here he comes. Now up high. Here's Reynolds for the play. Can Seabass make the touch? He does. Gets it away. And oh my goodness, what an overtime.
Oh, AJ, nice job knocking that down, but I don't know if the Knights are really ready for this.
Defenders nearly miss. Seabass has to stop. Memory rather, but he's out of boost now. Doesn't have anything to do. Continue to drive forward. Rapid just looking to get some breathing room to refill the tanks. AJ has none of it, gets it to Reynolds. It's over the top of two. Can Rapid make the play? Rapid drops it down.
What?
And it's in from Reynolds? Are you kidding me? What a series, and Knights take it in 5 on the reverse sweep.
AJ beats one.
He bumped him.
Reynolds beats one and basically lands on the third dude, and the Knights win. What? That was the...
I can't wait for the tweets. Reynolds uses Rapid as a pogo stick to reverse sweep them, dangles the chance of a win in front of their face, gives them a 2-goal lead in Game 5, ramps it back, and then styles on him for the win. Holy cow. The first and the last goal of the series go to Reynolds there, and the Knights. They start things like that. They did predict the sweep.
Yes, they did, but not that way.
They technically got a sweep, a reverse one.
Wow.
Man, what a series.
Not the way you thought it was going to go, but I got to stand by it. As soon as those last 2 goals went in, it's all right, Flight, ball's in your court. You have basically thrown away this lead. Granted, the Knights made some phenomenal passing plays to make that work, but that last goal.
They won 2 games. They had leads in many situations. They had played excellent Rocket League. The ball bounced halfway in the goal in overtime. Like, they were that close to winning their first series, but it's not going to quite happen. Seabass, again, he's never won more than 1 series in RLCS. He's going to have to still keep chasing that first one here. My goodness, what a game.
And that last play might be the first time in that entire series where they had some awkward air dribble actually go their way.
Yeah.
AJ beat a guy, Reynolds beat a guy, and then they bumped the third dude, and it all just panned out perfectly.
Well, folks, that was a banger of a first series, and we've got at least 4 more. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got the reigning world champs taking the pitch. Justin, Garrett G, Turbo Pulse are going to be going up against a new squad. The Susquehanna Sonics. How will that go? We'll see you after the break.
At CDW, we get you want happy, productive employees.
That's why we've made our office pet-friendly. Maybe a little too pet-friendly.
Well, CDW can design a mobility solution with light, powerful devices from Lenovo to make your people more productive in or out of the office.
Anyone have any questions before we go?
It's great. I really need to get out of here. Snake people are freaking me out.
Hey, Cheryl, give a sec.
For workplace productivity, you need Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
Another week or will be not.
That's hot.
Get it while it's hot.
To escape. When you're walking on the moon, walking on the moon, chase your happy place. It will change your groove when you're dancing on the moon, dancing on the moon. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some levels that I've never been. When we dance again, all our trouble seems to fade away. This is how I feel when you take me to some places that I've never been. When we dance again, that I've never been, that I've never been, that I've never been.
In a nail-biter of a match, the Pittsburgh Knights come out victorious. What an intense way to start off 2020 Rocket League. Welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series Season 9. I'm your host, Brody Leaf X Moore, and alongside me is Gibbs and Turtle. Before we get into the talk of that, Turtle, happy belated birthday.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I didn't know you were going to say that.
I just had to say it. Now let's talk seriously. Let's talk Rocket League. That was, what a way to start. That was right down to the wire. And just it might have already gone in. itself there at the end there, but I'm not sure maybe Rapid helped it.
But that
It was weird. I think he
that
went
hurts
so hard. Oh, yeah.
That hurts for Flight. That is the worst way to start. Like, I think I would rather be clapped by the Pittsburgh Knights than to be up 2-0, then 2-0 in Game 5 and lose that lead with 1 minute left. Rough way to start for them.
I mean, but specifically, Seabass was popping off the entire series. Then Rapid was coming in. I thought Memory had great patience. Even though it was a tough loss, I still think Flight, they are scary. That was a dominant showing from them at the beginning. But then how can you top Reddles when he's looking like probably one of the best plays we've seen in a while?
But also, look at AJ. It was a dynamic duo. For that front, where the AJ would go for the aerial dribble, then Reynolds would, take that handoff. A lot of good plays, but early on, Flight had so much pressure. Like, they had so much space around that 18-yard box that Rapid could go for his rapid resets, not get them necessarily, but turn them into passing.
Look at this. Look at those passes.
Man.
That was incredible.
That's the Pittsburgh Knights we were waiting 4 games for, and then they finally pull it out when they absolutely needed it the most.
And we didn't see too many demos, actually. I mean, a couple of demos sprinkled in here and there, but it felt more of a passing-intensive game from the Knights. The meta has shifted a little bit for them. They aren't as aggressive. And now they're going for passing plays like this. Another look at it. That was just amazing. Everything was so good so far for the Knights towards the end. And Flight, it's just rough because even in this last game on Championsfield, they were winning 2-0 until about 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's not how you want to lose a series. But credit to the Pittsburgh Knights. They show up when they needed it most. And sure, that whole series was not pretty from them. But when it came down to Game 5, with 43 seconds left, they scored 2 back-to-back. Beautiful performance from them, and I thought AJ played really well throughout. Like, I thought early on maybe boost control was a little bit of an issue. Like Game 1, it was like AJ using tons of boost, and that kind of hurt them. But after that, playing pretty well.
Well, Turtle, I'm curious, like, do you think they're going to pull back to that? You're absolutely right thinking back now that it was a lot less demo intensive. As you said, those passing plays seem to be connecting a lot more. I'm wondering if, that's AJ bringing that experience from Rogue working with Kronovi, or if this is them just, taking some time to get into it, or do you think they'll make it back to that demo heavy?
I definitely think that you're going to still see Reynolds going in for demos and trying to be aggressive. That's just his play style. That's just how he is. But with this addition of AJ, it's going to help out to kind of smooth things out. The aggression is more even along, and they won't have a third man consistent like Mist.
Well, it's time to talk about our second match of the day. Susquehanna Sonics, previously known as Afterthought, facing off against your reigning world champions NRG, is going to be our next match. This is an intimidating way, I would say, to start for the Sonics.
Oh, yeah.
Now, my question is, would you want Week 1 to play Energy, or would you rather them later? Because I think this is actually probably a good thing for Sonics because no one's expect them to take down Energy, so you get those nerves out right away. We heard on Twitter that they're really excited to play, but they're going to be nervous, but they're playing NRG, so they're not supposed to win.
Exactly. It's the best way to get their nerves out right now in the beginning of the season because, even if they have a rough start against, some teams that we'd expect to be closer, they don't have to wait and have to, prove themselves against somebody like NRG towards the end of the season. Now they can get their nerves out, kind of calm down, and, have that experience back into the RLCS. Because it's been, since season 5 for Dapper?
This is what I want to talk about. I think for the whole team, this is, honestly, for the Sonics, it's almost like just a redemption arc for all 3 of these guys coming together. I mean, you have Shock, who, again, was released from his team a while ago. You have Sathu and Dapper, who've both been into the RLCS and then had to work their way back up here. This is a huge redemption arc for all of them.
So the last time we saw Sathu in the spotlight was at DreamHack when he made that terrible play in Game 5 versus TSM when they were tied. After that, Space Station gives him the cake, but he made it back. Dapper since Season 5, we haven't seen him, but they're playing Energy. They're playing the world champions. And when you're building a team, there's no team you would want more than probably Energy. You have Garrett G, one of the best players in the world, the face of an org. Then you go, all right, so who do we want to win a LAN? Who would you pick up? Turbo Pulsar. And when it's tied with 0 seconds left, who do you want shooting the ball? One other player left. Who was that? JSTN. Justin, of course, making the clutch goals. Energy is that perfect team. They dominate North America every single season. I expect the same thing here.
Well, redemption happened for the Sonics this game, or will NRG show just how dominant they are? Let us know what you guys think on Twitter at RLEsports, hashtag RLCS9. But it's now time for a second match of NA.
The reigning world champs taking to the pitch for the first time in their defending season, and they're taking on the Sonics, the Susquehanna Sonics. I would pose the question to you, Jasheeves.
Yeah?
Would you rather play NRG in the first match of the season or the last match of the season?
First match.
First match?
Unequivocally, because it sets the table. You can get your really, really tough matches out of the way early, and that way you can have some expectations. Because if you, let's say you go, 8-9 weeks, you're sitting like middle of the pack, and you realize you still have to play NRG, then it's even worse.
I mean, I feel like you're like at that point you're kind of coming from the perception of like I'm losing either way. When would I like to lose? And it's like playing at the end of the season. At least you get to like maybe figure some stuff out, have your best chance of beating them. But at the same time,
they've done that too.
At the same time, I think you also maybe have a better win percentage if you play, or a better win-loss record if you play them at the beginning. Get the hardest thing out of the way first, and then every match after that, you're like, oh, this is easy. Wait, it's not Justin Garrett and Turbo Pulsive? Man, I can win this match, So we'll see how they go. A lot of history on this Sonics roster from different places in Rocket League. The most notable, the most noteworthy is Dapper, the famed Ones player and also Renegades player back from Season 3, made it all the way to the day 2 of Worlds in Season 3, got knocked out in overtime versus Flipside.
Good match.
Legendary roster there, legendary game. But that was kind of the peak of Dapper's career in the RLCS.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while, as they mentioned. He played a couple here or there, but he really did kind of fall off the face of the earth for a long time. And they touched on Sathu as well. He's had some fair ups and downs. Shock is a top CRL prospect, and but this is really his first attempt at the RLCS for Shock in a true sense, because he was on a team and they qualified and then they kicked him, and so
sucks.
So yeah, it's Shock's first time. Basically, I am concerned for the level of offensive production that the Sonics will have over the course of the season. Because, it's like you said, it's been a while for Dapper. Sathu, I've never felt has been the most productive player on the offense, and you don't really know what Shock can do against top-level talent.
Well, sometimes it just takes having the right players around you, and we'll see. Are the Sonics those players for each other? With the Sonics in the blue, the reigning world champs NRG in the orange. The best of 5 here to get their season started. Start with some Sonics offense. Play out Garrett G moving up. He's got Justin in tow, looks for the dunk on Shock. Doesn't find anything. Shock will make the play. Now Dapper with a shot, looks for a second touch.
Nice.
Actually, was this an own goal?
Yep.
An own goal from Turbo to start the season. Last time I saw Turbo own goal in a game in RLCS, he scored a hat trick afterwards, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that was to be fair, he has to go for that because Dapper is right behind him. He can't allow Dapper to try and make that double touch. But at the same time,
I've never seen someone be so close to being exactly the right place and be in the worst place he could possibly be.
That's the best way to start off with your patented world champion curse.
I do think, that's right. The world champion curse has definitely been a real thing in Rocket League. You win a world championship and then struggle severely the next season. NRG, not a team we would expect to have that problem with the work ethic and the drive that are on all of these players.
But Turbo Pulsar with an own goal is a brilliant way to...
the GOAT of Rocket League, who has won half the world championships that have ever happened. 3:47 left, or 3:56 left to go here in the game. First minute's come and gone. And NRG have scored all the goals, but they have not got a goal to their name.
And they are getting boxed in fairly well, actually. I mean, Dapper is forced to challenge that because he knows if he doesn't, Garrett G is going to take it away. But Garrett G read it very smart, allowed him to play it over, but Sonics get it right back. Sathu doesn't have the time to beat Turbo.
Turbo up, he'll beat Dapper, now Justin airborne. The pass across to Garrett G. It sends the shot off of his undercarriage. Shock again will have the save. Justin now through one. Garrett G on the back wall. He slows this play down. Justin.
Great cut.
Through one. Now looking for a second touch. Doesn't actually find it. Now Turbo Pulsar will have ball control all to himself. Shoots to the far corner. Gets a double commit out of the defenders. Is Garrett G there to make the play. He puts it back onto the backboard, chasing it himself. But, and no defender makes the touch. He couldn't. He respected the defense there and didn't go for that second touch.
And Turbo, to be fair, was actually completely expecting Garrett G to not even have that option.
Yeah.
And if Garrett hadn't touched that, Turbo scores that ball.
Garrett G under one, onto the backboard. Shock doesn't get a great touch, but it's enough that Justin has to try and pass it again. He'll fall on this one. Now Turbo crashed the box. Garrett G through. Sathu and Dapper slow. to move forward here. Turbo will get the bump on 1, but that's why you send 2 there. Dapper is able to get onto the backboard. Garrett G at midfield. He'll dribble Dapper. Justin airborne to try and win it against Shock. Shock will win that 50-50.
Nice demo.
Turbo just sends it into the midfield. Shock will try to gain control, but Garrett G's got that second touch now. Turbo, or Justin rather, to gain control. He's got Turbo in the midfield. He'll try to play underneath Dapper, over to the edge. Garrett G onto the side. Here's Turbo.
And NRG actually really struggling to get any offense going. To be fair, all of their chances have really only stemmed off of some surprising misses on the defensive half of the Sonics.
Almost makes you ask the question, should NRG be respecting the Sonics a little bit less? They've been assuming, like, we're playing at this level, these guys will make those touches, and there's been quite a few times they haven't, but still, they're holding on to the lead and defending well against the best team in the world. Justin now onto the backboard. Sathy will make a play. Shock actually went up as well, but the clear is nice and long, and there will be no punish as Sathy puts one into the box. Justin falls off the backboard, and now Turbo through 1. Justin will try to control this one. Dapper makes a play, and now Turbo looking for Garrett G in the midfield. Garrett G turns this one around and actually beats Sathy. Garrett looks for a second touch to extend this one off the backboard. Justin's in a position up against Dapper. He's going to have to find a pass as it rolled too far to the edge. With the final minute, the Sonics have that 1-goal lead.
But NRG still getting a fair amount of chances to get the ball across the net. Nothing in any scoreable spot, so I mean, if you're the Sonics, you should still definitely be wary. 1-goal lead doesn't mean anything against a team that consistently scores over 2.5 goals per game on average.
Dapper to the edge. Turbo Pulsa into the corner. 30 seconds on the clock. Garrett G somehow wins that challenge, and now here comes Justin, but a miss. Here's Turbo, looks for the shot on target. Shock doesn't get it. Oh, nearly falls on it for the double touch. Justin couldn't beat Dapper, and now Garrett's having to play keep away, keep it high with 17 seconds left. No play. Turbo now out to Garrett. Looks for Justin, maybe off the backboard. Shock is in position. Gets this save, and now he can just hold on to it. But Turbo Pulse is already up. Gets Justin to the ball. Now Sathu into the corner. No, it's back all the way down the field, and Garrett G is going to have to make the full court carry. We saw Seabass do it earlier, but he's already lost control. Turbo Pulsa will keep this one up. Now Garrett G to the edge, and it's going to touch there. Sonics are gifted a win by Turbo, and they'll take it.
And it's a shutout, too.
Yeah.
At that. NRG, 10 shots on goal, and it is not often. 0 shots. Okay, that has to be the first time a team has ever won a game with 0 shots and a goal. That I refuse to believe that that has ever happened.
I'll be with you. Well, we can let the statisticians in the back double check if they want. But also, while we say NRG gifted them the win, at the same time, they put up 10 shots. And none of them went in the back of the net. Sonics still had to play 4 minutes of defense,
but
and they held.
They missed like 3 or 4 chances on clears that would have resulted in goals.
I feel like this game was a bit of precision from NRG. This was like, let's play tactical, let's respect them, where are they going to be masterminds. I kind of feel like the next game might just be a yeet, just like, let's just go, let's just run, just do whatever you want, let's see if it works. You know, we can afford to lose another game, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here, but yeah, NRG definitely kept super quiet.
Yeah, surprisingly so. I mean, the most scoreable balls came off of mistakes, and that is something very uncharacteristic of NRG. Normally, they make their opportunities. They make them, absolutely. And to see Sonics at least be able to buckle down, and if the most scoreable chances were things where you just missed a clear, then it has its ups and downs to that approach, of course. But NRG, I fear you are right. It's probably going to be a lot less of the, okay, they're just going to miss the ball. Let's just go for it.
All gas, no brakes. We'll see what they do, how they choose to play. Is this an own goal to start it on this game, too? No, okay. Barely. Sonics nearly returned the favor, but they'll dodge that one for now. Justin tries to advance. Garrett G into the corner here. Shock will have the response. Now Turbo to play this one down. Sathu out to Dapper. Outfield pass.